Hello, second grade. So today we are going to design our dream tree house. It can be in any style that you want it to be. It can be made of almost anything. But to meet the learning objective, you must include walls, doors, windows, and roofs. So you want to focus your tree house near the top of your paper because it's going to be up in a tree. And if you wanted to kind of see the side of the house and not just see just the front of it, you want to kind of put the front of it over to one side so that you can include the side view of the house. So again, it can be any shape you want it to be. I'm going to start with just a traditional shape where you kind of have the box at the bottom. And the reason I'm doing this is so that I can show you how to do the side view of a house and then the pitched roof at the top. But if you want to do the front view of your house and you want it to have a flat roof or a slanted roof, whatever you want, I'm doing the traditional pitched roof. Now, before I move on to the side of the house, I do want you to include some details. I don't want you to just do a very simple house. So I'm going to draw a second roof line here just to thicken that up and make it look a little bit nicer than just a simple thin line. All right, and now I'm going to do the side view of the house. So you want to do a diagonal line that goes to the side, up into, they all go the same direction. Think of it like you're drawing a cube, the 3D form. So it looks like the roof of my house is going to run off the side. And then I need to draw a line that goes up and down back here for the back of the house. And then I need to draw a line that's parallel to this line back here. So I started with the traditional kind of box with the pitched roof. And then I did 3 diagonal lines all going the same direction from the bottom of the box, the top of the box, and the top of the pitched roof. And then a vertical line that matches the front side of this house, and a diagonal line that matches the front side of the roof. Okay, and so now you need to add details. Remember, you need walls and a roof, but you also need doors and a window. So your door can be anything you want it to be, but I don't want you just to simply draw a door and go, okay, I'm finished. If you look just in the classroom alone, you'll see that the door has what's called a door frame. So draw 2 lines for your door. And I want my door to be made of wood, so I'm going to draw some wooden planks for the door. I need a doorknob. And so now I need some windows. And windows have window frames too, just like doors. So I'm going to draw a circle window up here. The window, I need a frame, so I'm going to draw a smaller circle inside. And then I could do the breaks in the windows, those the lines that go across, but you don't have to do that. This is your house, your tree house, however you want to do it. I'm just doing a very traditional standard one, whatever your imagination can come up with. I need shingles. Okay, I'm going to draw a deck around my house, so they kind of have like a front porch. So I need railings. So the railings in the front and the back of the house are easy to draw because they just go straight up and down. But the railings on the side are kind of tricky. So I'm going to start with the front and the back railings. And notice how the ones in the front are going to overlap. So I need to erase what's inside there. So you have to imagine that these are going back, and I just think it's going to be really tricky to draw. So you could choose to not draw them, but I'm going to draw them kind of at a slight angle just so you can see that they're there, a very slight angle. I don't want to draw them straight out or kind of really angled because then it's going to look like the railings falling down. And the way I'm drawing this right now is going to look like the railings falling down a little bit, but at least you can see that there are railings there. It's just incredibly tricky to draw. So you can just do the best you can, or you can choose to just leave that side railing off. Alright, so there's my deck around my tree house. So I think I'm pretty much done with my tree house, so now I need to add the tree. So I have 3 tree branches for you to choose from. You can use all 3, but don't take one of each at once. Take one, use it, put it back, get a different one because there's not enough for everybody to have a set. So pick a tree branch that you want to work with. I'm going to put my tree branch like this. Now, I don't want to draw the whole thing covering up most of my deck, unless, of course, you want a tree to look like it's coming through your deck, which is definitely something you can decide. And I'm not going to draw the top of the branch right here. I'm just going to draw the bottom of the branch, anything. And then this part of the branch that overlaps the deck, I'm only going to draw the part that doesn't overlap. So this part of the tree here, then I go back up here and trace this part. And so I have a tree branch here, and then I have a larger tree branch here, and it just kind of stops here because this is going to connect to the trunk of the tree, and then I'm going to finish the trunk of the tree down here. So this is the side of the trunk. So let's do the other side. I'm going to do a tree branch right here. So I think what I'm going to do is just do the bottom of this tree branch. I'm not going to do this since it hangs off for now. I'm going to do the bottom here, just this side. I didn't do this side, and then this is going to come down to be the other part of my tree trunk, and then I'm going to draw kind of like a jagged zigzag line at the bottom. So now I have my tree house sitting on a tree trunk, and I need a few more branches. So now I can go back to the same one that I used right here, and I can bring it and just add some branches that stick out the back of the house that are behind and trace these. Now you need to decide, is your tree a winter tree or is it a summer tree? Does it have lots of leaves or just a little bit of leaves? So I could add another branch here and here if I want, but I'm just going to add tree leaves, and I'm just going to do big chunks. So I'm just going to do like big chunks of green that go around. Then I'm going to add some bumps, some curved smile lines here and there to show that this is leaves and a texture of leaves. And I'm going to do the same over here, bumpy line. My tree shouldn't be floating in blank space, so I'm going to add a horizon line. And then if you wanted to add anything else hanging from your treehouse, you can, but I need to show a way to get up to the treehouse, so I'm going to just do blocks of wood that are nailed into the trunk of the tree as the ladder. You might do a regular ladder, you might do a rope ladder, you might draw actual steps, you might draw a pulley system where you get into a box and pull yourself up through a pulley system. Okay, so there is how to get up to my tree house. So I think I'm finished with my tree house. So now what you're going to do is you're going to use colored pencil to color in your tree house and to color in any of the other details. You're not going to color in the tree or the ground or the sky with colored pencil. We're going to use a different media for that. So I want my railing to be this dark blue. So I would like to see you color neatly with a couple of different pressures. So you show a couple of different values of color, darkness and lightness of a color. So by pressing hard on your pencil lines first, you get a nice dark value. Then come in, coloring the same direction the whole time, come in lightly with a lighter pressure to show a lighter value. So when you're coloring in the details of your treehouse, take your time and try to show two values, light and dark, by how hard you press. So I'm not going to make you watch me color this whole house and ladder going up to the house, but after you get that colored in colored pencil, you're going to use pans for the tree and the grass. And pans look like this. They kind of look like a really brittle, hard crayon inside this cardboard tube, this blue cardboard tube, and they kind of slide in and out. They fall out. The cardboard tube is just to kind of help you hold it and hopefully not break it, because the pans do break like crayon. So you want to try and avoid that. And what you're going to do with the pan is you're going to just trace over your pencil lines, but I want you to kind of go back and forth and put a thick layer of pan over the top of your pencil lines. So where my tree, the green of my tree that I drew is, I'm going back and forth with my pan to put a nice thick layer on top of my pencil lines. Then I'm going to go back with the brown pan and do my tree branch. And again, pressing hard, putting a thick layer of pan over the top of my pencil. Then you just use plain water and a paintbrush with the pan. So you're going to focus on one color at a time. So I'm going to do green first, and you're going to touch the green pan with the water, and you're going to pull that color around in the space. Now if you touch the brown's going to bleed and run into the green, just like if you were using watercolor. That's okay if that happens, but I don't want to see anybody just going over back and forth over both colors. You focus on one color at a time to try and keep it as neat as possible. So the green's a little light. When you see me do the brown, you'll see the brown really perks up. And so here's the brown. My green pan is really brittle, so it's a lighter color. My brown pan was a little bit softer, and so it left more on there. And it's almost as if you had painted it with watercolor. And remember, you're going to do the whole tree with pan. So here, this tree trunk, that's a really wide space to do with pan. So you might want to go through and add some texture, some wavy lines here and there, just to demonstrate the texture of the tree to help you get that brown filling the space. And I just use, again, rinse my paintbrush off, get plain water, touch the brown, and just bring that across into, I'm not taking it over the top of my ladder because that wouldn't look as nice. Going between the ladder rungs and painting as neatly as possible. And once you have your tree house colored in color pencil and your tree in pans, also don't forget the ground in pan, and wet with water, then you're going to put it on the drying rack and you'll be finished. Second.